Good afternoon. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and namaste.
Namaste.
We all here at Innovation Mind are so thankful for you to spare these precious moments in your day to listen to a very important topic to us, education. As we all are aware, it's vital in today's economy, and these days the economy is not simply limited to the geographical U.S. We are immersed in a global market, and the success of the country and other countries can also help aid growth to other countries in different sectors. Our mission here at Innovation Mind is to enhance the education program in India by creating more job opportunities and improving their country's infrastructure and global economic growth. Our vision here is also to get a better education workforce to set higher standards for company employers. And here is Pratibha to elaborate more on our service program.
Before I talk a little bit about the programs we have to offer, I'd like to touch on the problem with India's education system right now. One of the problems are there's not very many facilities for higher education, and the ones that are there are usually privatized because the government-run school systems are not mandated properly and they don't have standards that are required to be met. There's also a huge lack of funding, which also explains why there's so many privatized schools in India's education system. It's expensive for most families to afford, and the state government restriction means that you have to be associated with a relative who works for the state or the government to get a budget cut for your higher education. In addition to that, there's also a lot of extra classes that are required to be taken if you go through a school system outside of Innovation Mind. You have to take possibly a history class if you're an IT major, and that just adds on to the cost of your education program. We offer video classes because we have a 90% attendance mandation, so that solves the problem with the congestion traffic in India, and it makes it so that you can go to class and get all the information without actually having to leave your room. The solutions that we have to offer are the higher education system at a much lower cost. We have an abbreviated program which offers 1- and 2-year accelerated programs which focus only on the classes that pertain to your degree. We also have an automated ID system, so it makes sure that you are able to get into your class, it takes attendance, and it makes sure you have enough security in the building so that you're safe and sound in your classrooms. The benefits for you all as sponsors are that your companies will be advertised within our lobby and within all our program brochures. You'll be providing a public service which aids to your reputation as an established company in India. You'll be given shares of stock pro bono so that when they increase in value, you won't be expending that extra cost to buy them. In the future, we expect to expand our company to many metropolitan areas. We are providing job opportunities for several different countries, and we'll be providing all you sponsors with an educated workforce that you set the standards to for your career. What's out is the traditional employment system. Now you get to choose your students from the selection that we have to offer after we've trained them and made sure that they've taken a test to qualify their education. We hope to be taking out these irrelevant classes and saving all the students and the company's money by nixing them out of our program. We're raising educational standards, and hopefully we hope to increase our GDP, which is currently 8.9 as of September 2010. The service industry provides for about 40% of the country's GDP, so hopefully that number should be driven up with our increasing programs. And now here's Joey to touch on our operations system.
Thank you, Pratibha, for the introduction. Today I will be talking about the 4 sections of operations department, which are employees, equipment, systems, and permits, licenses, contracts, and insurance. To start out with some basic information on our country. We will be located in Mumbai, India. Our hours will be 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. We will be a year-round technical school, and our classes will be in August 1st. Let's start with our first section, which is employees. We will have approximately 25 employees, which includes an administration staff, teachers, teacher assistants, accountant, an IT specialist, and a cleanup crew. And we require 1 to 3 years experience for all of our employees. Now moving to the next section is our equipment. As you can see, here is a list of equipment that we would need to functionally operate our school each day. Moving to our third section, which is systems. We have three main systems. Our first system is our grading system, which will allow our students to see their grades for their homework, quizzes, tests, and final grade. Our second system is our ID card system, which will allow our students to gain access into the building, and as well, we'll be able to take attendance through our ID cards. Our third and final system is our class sign-up system, which will allow our students to sign up for classes depending on their program of interest. Moving on to our last section, which is permits, licenses, contracts, and insurance. As you can see, here's a list of permits and licenses we need to obtain before August 1st. We will also be monitored by the AICT, the All India Council for Technical Education, and we will be working with the Department of Technical Education as well. Finally, we will be purchasing a AIG Educational Institute Insurance Plan, which will cover fire damage, weather-related damages, riot and strike damages. It will also cover loss of rent and workers' compensation. I would now like to introduce our financial analyst, Jeff.
Thank you, Joey. I would like to show you all at first the current cost of education in India. On the left side you see the price in dollars, and on the right side you see in rupees. It may appear in US dollars that the rent or the expenses are cheap, but for an average person living in India, the income is slightly lower, so money is used in different areas. I would like to now go to the budget. Our budget allocation for the year is as showed. We would go with our rent. Our room would be 10 rooms on an office floor building. Next would be our cleaning and technology. And technology would consist of our card readers, our scanners, and information for everybody. Next is our salary. Our salary would go for teachers, maintenance, and security. And our last is our miscellaneous expenses, which would total around 400,000 US dollars, or in rupees, 20.3 million. Next we go to our revenue and expenses. First would be our revenues, which would be a 1-year accelerated program, which is slightly higher than a 2-year program. Also, we would make money through our video lectures. Because we run a 90% mandatory attendance policy, we will offer these lectures to students that couldn't make it to class. Our expenses are also on the diagram. You see the expenses. You can see majority of it is our rent and our salaries. And next is our expense chart. As you can see, there are 3 main categories of our expenses, which are service development, human resources, and marketing. And now I'd like to introduce Pratibha to continue on marketing.
These few years are really pivotal for our growth as a company, so we'd like to keep our advertising and marketing costs as low as possible. These first few years we'll be using grassroots marketing techniques, and these will be including sponsor names on the items that you have donated so graciously. Sony and Dell, I'd like to thank you also for donating the TVs and the computers that we'll be using in our classrooms. Also, the company placement within the programs advertise on themselves by association. We'd like to have our name with you as a credible source so that we can add on to our reliability and our accountability as a company. As we continue to grow, our expenses will keep adding on, and so we'll get more revenue so we can go on to do radio advertisements, billboards, public transportation, and TV and mass media within the next 10 years. And now I'll send it off to Ashley for a final few words.
Thank you all for coming and listening to a very important topic to us, higher education in India. Now that you have heard what we have to offer, we open the floor for questions. This is all the time we have today. If there are any further questions, handed with you earlier today was a packet. On the very last page is all of our contact information. Thank you again.
Thank you again for spending all your time with us, and we hope to see you soon.